Oh, my bad. I forgot I ain't had it on. Yo, what is up, everybody? This is Zero. And today we're gonna talk about what shadow work is. And I'm pretty sure the concept is probably new to a lot of people. It's new to me as well. So so yeah, with that, I'll just explain what it is. I wish I had a background for it. But it doesn't matter. But as far as that, like, yeah, like the whole term shadow work, it came from, well, yeah, it came from Carl Jung's definition of shadow, which he described as our darker sides or our unconscious self, and when he mentioned that, he was like, pretty much talking about how people like love to avoid their side. So a lot of people want to go towards the positive, and it's like, and don't want to face that part of themselves, their demons, so to speak. And shadow work is a way of confronting that darker side of you. So let me get my notes so I can show you what I mean, so I can tell you what it means. But while we're at it, here is DG's tarot channel. Let me, she does tarot readings on her channel, and if you want a reading, go to her about section, and she will, you know, contact you with a pricing, and y'all will see the reading from there. So so yeah, the whole thing was I'll just like read a maybe a few quotes so it kind of explains what it is. This came from Carl Jung himself. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own souls. They practice Indian yoga and all this exercises, observe a strict regimen of diet, learn the literature of the whole world, all because they cannot get on with themselves and have not the slightest faith that anything useful could ever come out of their own souls. Thus the soul has gradually turned into a Nazareth from which nothing good can come. It's like pretty much like when we just focus on the light, we're not growing to our full potential because we're still avoiding that darker part of us. And it is not something to be afraid of or to run away. But I think, some of that is due to societies, society, emphasizing, what glorifying the light, I guess. Just say glorifying. Then to have then to actually deal with your darker parts of yourself. Which, you usually see people when they act on their darker impulses, they actually come out in more extreme ways, like fetishes and stuff like that. Just like, I mean, you never know, like fetishes, it might do dirty. Oh yeah, I can use this. Yeah, yeah, this is good image. Yeah, so yeah, they just use darker images and for the dark impulses that maybe they like to steal certain things, get a thrill out of it. That might be a part of your whole shadow self. And then you have some maybe some you may be embarrassed of showing, maybe showing that part of yourself. That stuff you're very embarrassed by. That's a part of that too. Okay, so yeah, let me get so yeah, so another quote, and this kind of came to this kind of speaks of another serial speaks I had done talking about toxic positivity. This kind of goes along with it. Positive thinking is simply the philosophy of hypocrisy, to give it a right name. When you feel like crying, it teaches you to sing. You can manage it if you try, but those repressed tears will come out at some point in some situation. There is a limitation to repression. The song that you were singing was absolutely meaningless. You were not feeling it. It was not born out of your heart. And it was by someone named Osho. Or second it is, but and another and then this is another one. Cause like, it's just like we're trying to hide ourselves. We hide ourselves behind our shadow part. I think I mentioned that before, like, just coming to terms with your darker self. So I'm gonna read another quote, and then I'm gonna give you the definition that of a shadow that is used in psychology. Okay, so beneath the social mask we wear every day, we have a hidden shadow side, an impulsive, wounded, sad, or isolated part that we generally try to ignore. The shadow can be a source of emotional richness and vitality, and acknowledging it can be a pathway to healing and an authentic life. Yeah, that I think I said explained it earlier, but yeah, yeah, and to elaborate on what Carl Jung said about what a shadow was. Of course, he referred to it as parts of us we try to hide, deny. You would say it compromises the aspects of our personality that we tend to deem shameful, unacceptable, and ugly. It can be envy, jealousy, rage, lust, desire, or power, or the wounds incurred in childhood that we all keep hidden. So he believes that when the shadow is shown, it tends to sabotage our lives. Pressing or suppressing one's shadow can result in addictions, low self-esteem, mental illness, chronic illnesses, and various necroses. So yeah, I mean, and I definitely see that, especially around YouTube. I know I've seen a lot of these issues, a lot of these issues, a lot of repressed issues. People are repressing the dark side, then it just probably repressed their dark side in real life, and it just came all out on YouTube. This is their outlet for it, and they still not dealing with it. And I mean, I've done this before. I just didn't know I didn't know it had a name for it. But yeah, I mean, it's like once you start coming to terms with your darker side, you become more complete. Well, you really become complete because you now have a full understanding of yourself, and you can deal with it. It's not something you have to hide or thing like that, because anything that you repress will come out. Like It has to be a balance. Like you have to, recognize it's there will actually help you in the long run. Because if you repress it, it's gonna come out eventually. And if you overindulge in it, it's kind of just as bad. Because now you're like, oh well, yeah, I'm completely immersed in it. Now it kind of brings you to a breaking point or something like that, and that's usually what happens. And and as far as shadow work, these supposed to be methods to help you do it. So I'm gonna read some ways that could help you get better. To help you practice, shadow work techniques that help you get through this. So yeah, the first one: believe that you are worthy and that things will get better. So as it reads there on those, the first step in overcoming your shadow self and taking back your life is to acknowledge that you're worthy of good things. When we are feeling low, it is easy to continue to feel that way. Humans have an uncanny ability to feel sorry for themselves, and all we want to do, sometimes that's all we want to do, and it serves its purpose. Sometimes that self pity takes hold of us and makes it very difficult to get out of a rut and get back to our normal routines, or even better, our best self. The key to learning to love yourself. You need to learn to love yourself. However, in this day and age, they say, yeah, of course, yeah, love practice self love is hard, and you want to know why? Because society conditions us to find ourselves through relationship with others. That is a true path to happiness of feeling to find love within someone else. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and as far as that, true find love with someone else, like yeah, it's like, and I like to put that idea, like, go that point real quick. When and it's like relationships, they say, oh well, you got to find somebody. I'm like, that's fine, find a companion. Okay, cool. Find somebody you don't mind spending this life with. Okay, I have no problem with that. But the thing about it is, like, people think that they're looking for somebody to try to fill the void within themselves, and if they manage to find that person to fill that void, it may last for so long. But if that person, just happens to pass away, you still have that void there. You didn't deal with it. You just push it to the side. So so that's like I always like try to say, hey, if you can't be happy with yourself, you can't be happy with anyone else. Like, you can fake it. You might even trick yourself into believing it. But at the end of the day, you you are not you're not gonna be happy until you're happy with yourself. Because if you can't be happy with yourself, who can you be happy with? And it's like someone else comes into your life, they should only increase your happiness. So yeah, and to put a quote to this method, and it's by someone named I think it's Ruta Lande. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I don't know if it's he or she, so I'm not going to even try to. Yeah, but this person put, if you do not respect your whole, you cannot be cannot. I mean, if you do not respect your whole, you cannot expect to be respected as well. Don't let your partner love a lie and expectation. Trust yourself. Bet on yourself. If you do this, you'll be opening yourself to be really loved. It's the only way to find out real solid love in your life. Some good powerful words right there. So, so basically this whole thing about, self love. So now we go to the second one that I've seen. Paying attention to the emotions you feel. No emotions are bad. Everyone wants to focus on the positive emotions, but the negative emotions could be are just as valid. Like anger, sadness, sorrow, and all that. It's okay. It's okay to acknowledge those feelings and to look at them. And when you feel it, you should examine why you're feeling that way. So so when you start doing that, when you start doing that, you should ask yourself the following questions. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? And then once you ask those two questions, see what answers come through. And if the answers don't come right away, don't get frustrated. Sometimes you need time for the answers to come. Patience is the key. How you doing, Nutra? And another thing, never force answers or jump to conclusions because if you're doing that, you're not going to get the answers that you need. You're not going to be totally honest about how you're feeling or what you're feeling or if you're trying to expect a certain result, it's going to be bad for you. It's not going to help you out at all. So so yeah, with that, yeah, you should be able to do that. Okay. So yeah, these emotions will help you gain more clarity in why you're doing the things you're doing. I'm doing well. That's and yeah. Another thing is yeah. Another thing, if you feeling and it's like a time like some people gonna make you feel uncomfortable, but with anything in life, you know, a lot of things that help us get better are gonna be things that make us uncomfortable. I mean, it's just like that's how it goes. I'm not saying every uncomfortable thing you do is like, should do it. Of course, that's dumb. But a lot of things like you need to do, yeah, will make you feel uncomfortable. And if if you get comfortable with doing uncomfortable things, it helps you better. It helps you get better. Like that. So it's like when you feel all those emotions, you just experience them with gratitude. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention how we even came to the idea of how I came to find out what shadow work is. I actually found out. I actually seen what kind of heard about it like when I was on YouTube, and I seen a video pop up. It was first I never watched, but I guess the algorithm had sent me over there. So I was kind of curious about it. I mean, and she kind of explained her own way, but I felt like this. I mean, she kind of gave like a more mystical explanation of it, but I wanted to try to demystify it. 'Cause I knew it was like probably a more straight answer with it. But it was her, but it's from her experience, so I don't judge that. But I know like there's people that would not probably get it, or think it's like some kind of a spooky thing or something like that or whatever. But after oh yeah, another thing, the third thing I had seen as far as dealing with shadow work is identifying the shadow. I mean, shadows are located in, subconscious. That's like where where Carl Jung said shadows are our conscious from our unconscious or subconscious. So, so when and maybe it's depending on how buried they are, the trickier it could be. So, in order to perform shadow work, we need to identify the shadow. First step is to become aware of recurring feelings that you always feel. Identifying these patterns will help highlight the shadow. Some common shadow beliefs are: I am not good enough, I am unlovable, I am flawed, my feelings are not valid, I must take care of everyone around me. Why can't I just be normal like others? And I mean, so and that's a common thing. And it goes into fourth thing the fourth thing that can help is investigating your feelings objectively and with compassion. So, and it's hard to do shadow work objectively with compassion. I mean, it's easy to investigate and blame people for why you end up that way. And it's just like having that, once you can, if you can understand it and you have a good understanding, and if you're able to just like put which your own judgments and beliefs out the way, it could actually help you. It actually help make it easier for you. Yeah. Hey, Charger. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 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 I mean, it's like if you can't look at it objectively and look at it with I mean, you can't look at it objectively. You can't identify the properly. So understanding why the people who hurt you act in a particular way is hard to accept. In order to heal ourselves, we must forgive those who hurt us or to move on. Now, I mean, I'm gonna say I'm not a big I'm not big on forgiveness, but I am big on if I something wrong, I just move on. But that's I mean that's my point. But this like from the notes, that's from the notes. But it is also easy to feel bad about yourself and for having these negative feelings because these are feelings that are frowned upon. I don't and I pretty much like I think I said it earlier, but about like I think society makes where we have to feel bad about having these feelings. And I mean, it's just like someone's like arrogant or something like that. Like it's maybe like really confident where it seems, like they, to the point where they maybe arrogant or seem arrogant. It's like, oh, well, that guy's arrogant. He just need to humble himself and all that. And I mean, maybe he does, but I mean, if that's how how he or she feels, why can't they, be that way? You might not like it, but that it might be who they are. And I'm just kind of like thinking, like, who are you to make them who are you to tell them who they are or aren't, how they should be? You can't tell them how to be themselves. There's like no more they can tell you how to be yourself. And this is a quote from Alan Watts, talking about Carl Jung, and like it was like quoting him. He said Carl Jung was the kind of man who could feel something negative and not be ashamed about it. And I'm gonna read a quote from him. And we're going to the next one, next to the next technique. So he said Young was the sort of man who could feel anxious and afraid and guilty without being ashamed of feeling this way. In other words, he understood that an integrated person is not a person who has simply eliminated the sense of guilt or a sense of anxiety from his life, who is fearless and wooden and kind of sage of stone. He is a person who feels all these things, but he has no recriminations against himself or for feeling them. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have any any doubts or or feeling still some kind of way about how you feel. I mean, you feel how you feel. That's. I mean, it should be no right or wrong. You should feel no sense. Of, oh, I feel wrong or I feel right about it. I mean, you just can't feel right about it. You feel wrong about it. I mean, those are totally valid, but it hinders you from being your true self. So we go on to the fifth technique. Focus on your breathing. Have you paid attention to the way you breathe? If you're like most people, then probably not a lot. We usually let our body do the job and completely forget about it. I think that's one of our biggest mistakes. That's what it. I'm reading from notes. Because when you breathe, you produce energy for your body and psyche. This has a direct connection to your sleep, digestion, heart, muscles, nervous system, brain, and mood. But the quality of your breathing does not depend on the quality of the air. It depends on how much more on how you breathe. Depends much more on how you breathe. That's why many spiritual traditions pay so much attention to breath. And focusing on your breathing is a key technique they use to help people explore and ultimately conquer their shadow self. And that is, I mean, and that is, I mean, and that is true. Like we don't pay attention to it. Like it's like with meditating, you breathe in, you're when you do your breathing, because that's usually meditation is mainly based on just focusing on your breathing, and that helps calm you. Like once you once you get into start breathing right and whatnot, and like even without meditation, even if you ain't never did with meditation, I mean like usually like if they try to help get rid of stress or before you think about doing something you may feel like you regret. I'll tell you to take a deep breath and count to 10 or whatever number they tell you to count to. So in that way, they tell you take deep breaths, and sometimes and those deep breaths have a common effect if you do them enough. If you're doing the right way and you're doing them enough, they have a common effect because a breath is life. I mean, it's literally life because if you can't breathe, I mean, like let's put it plainly, let's put it bluntly. If you don't breathe, you die. That's all there is to it. So yeah, I mean, learning this breath kind of changes you too, especially if you ever tried in meditation. If you practice meditation for a good while, you start, there's the breathing. You start feeling like, you starting to realize you take more air, and then like on top of that, you know, the way you view things, changes. Like maybe stuff you were afraid of that wouldn't even make you afraid anymore. I mean, it has a crazy amount of effect. I mean, it affects in different ways. You might be more focused. It's like you have different effects. But I'm just explaining that, like just explain how I'm just saying that to explain how breathing can be beneficial. So so yeah. So now we'll go to the sixth thing. Explore your shadow. Psychologists use art therapy as a way to help patients explore their inner selves It is art because art is a great way to allow your shadow to manifest itself. And that is good because I know some people who actually did art therapy and it helped them greatly. Allows them to express what they're feeling, how they feel on the inside and whatnot. And here's some other ways to help you express your shadow, express the shadow within. Journaling. When you write, it allows you to feel the emotions and empty your head of thoughts running around. It's like magic. When you write, thoughts have no sense. You can just write whatever comes to mind because you can't do it wrong. Or another one, write a letter. Write a letter to yourself or to those who hurt you. You don't have to actually send a letter, just let all your feelings out. Tell the person in mind what you feel and why you feel it. Writing a letter will validate yourself and your emotions. You can burn a letter after you write it as a symbolic release. And of course, I mentioned meditation. And what my notes say about it was that it helps. In meditation, we gain insights about why we feel certain ways, helps us understand objectively and delve deeper into our emotions, and then allows us to heal. And they put one example, forgiveness meditation. You can picture the person that hurts you in your mind and say, may you be happy, may you be at peace, may you be free of suffering. Which, like I said, I don't personally don't agree with that, but it is there for people who may want to do it. See, I mean, see me, I feel that way. I don't feel shame about it. It's just I'm saying what I feel. Which is the next one. Feel. You never heal unless you allow yourself to face the emotion you're scared of. So explore them, write about them, make art out of them, experience yourself as a whole, loved and lovable. You need to own up to your emotions. Yeah. And of course, art deep, of course, dreams as well, of course, like, when we say dreams, like, usually dreams are the biggest indicators of our shadow selves, which to me, I have my own thoughts about what dreams are. But say our thoughts and deepest emotions come out in dreams, according to Young. And when you experience a dream, write down what you occur in immediately so you don't forget. So I'm just gonna repeat that again just in case anybody didn't catch it. Our thoughts and deepest emotions can come out in dreams, according to Young. When you experience a dream, write down what occurred immediately so you don't forget. By understanding your dreams, you might understand more about yourself. And Carl Jung says this: the dream is the small hidden door in the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul, which opens that primeval cosmic night that the soul long before there was conscious ego. Yeah, yeah, I'm already there. Yeah, yeah. The dream is most small hidden door within the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul, which opens that to that primeval cosmic night that was so long before there was conscious ego and will be so far beyond what a conscious ego could ever reach. So yeah, Young says it's important to understand that one dream by itself might not mean much, but patterns from multiple dreams might. So he adds on to this. An obscure dream taken by itself can be rarely interpreted with any certainty, so that I may take little importance to the interpretation of single dreams. With a series of dreams, we can have we can have more confidence in our interpretations for the later dreams, correct the mistakes we have made in handling those that went before. We are Also, better able in a dream series to recognize the important contents and basic themes. So yeah, so yeah, remember that the shadow thrives in secret, but they are part of who you are. So bring the hidden parts of yourself to the light and beta and self love and acceptance. Sometimes the process hurts, but it makes you a better person. Now this is from the notes, but I mean, say bring it to the light. I mean, I guess sort of, you bring it to the light, but it's really more, you're trying to join, you're trying to join that darker self with you because it is a part of you. No matter how much you want to hide it, no matter how much you want to push it down, whatever, you're gonna have to deal with that eventually. You got to deal with that shadow at some point in your life. So the sooner you can deal with it and come to terms with it, and come to an understanding, the better off we'll be. And then the seventh one, it says nurture your inner child. Our childhood traumas can be caused by the way we were parented or other people who have hurt us. It can result in deep wounds that can create behavior and emotional patterns that create our personality. Most of the time, our childhood wounds are most painful. They haunt us and tell us that we are not worthy of love, and or that our feelings are wrong, and that we have to take care of everything because nobody was around to take care of us. And it's like nurturing inner child involves traveling back in time when you were hurt and give yourself love. You can do this by going back in the time in your life when you felt most vulnerable. It can be a scene that where you got hurt. Yeah. Yeah. Hold that image of yourself in your mind. Stay aware of any stay aware, taking in any messages that arise during that time. Second one, give the younger you compassion. While reliving that moment, give love to your younger self. Tell yourself, I love you and I'm here for you. It will be okay. It's not your fault. You did nothing to deserve this. You can give a hug to your younger self. One thing is for sure, when doing shadow work, it is uncomfortable, to say the least. Who would enjoy owning up to their flaws, weaknesses, selfishness, hate, and all negative emotions feels? Nobody. That is true. But while focusing on the positive side is enjoyable and boosts our confidence, shadow work can help us grow and develop into a better version of ourselves. So, Young writes in his he writes this quote in his book, Psychology and Alchemy. There is no light without shadow, and no psychic wholeness without imperfection. Without imperfection, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it also mentions using hypnotherapy to build a relationship with your inner child, which you can. I mean, hypnotherapy is only really, and then it's only really just to kind of trick yourself into actually doing what you need to do. So, and I know this is like a common misconception about hypnotherapy, like you know you can be someone can make you do something. No, nobody can make you do anything, and it's like saying, oh well, if you got hypnotized and you're not smart or anything. No, hypnotherapy has nothing to do with being smart or dumb. It really has more to do with what if you allow it or not. It's like hypnotherapy. You can't be hypnotized if you with that's why you can't be hypnotized if you don't want to. That's why they usually you hear people talk about hypnosis. They really call it hypnotic suggestion because they can only suggest what you need to do. If you can't, if you don't want to be hypnotized, you're not going to be. I mean, it's a way you can do it, but it would require a person to not being aware of what's going on. I mean, you could get somebody like that, but they would have to be unaware of what's going on. But the thing about it is, the person has to be open to hypnotic suggestion. That's the whole point of that. And I think I've gotten all the. Oh yeah, I guess I kind of read what it is and then kind of in it there. Well, no, I mean, I just, yeah, I guess I can. Oh yeah, so it say the inner child hypnosis, use a variety of tools and techniques to assess, communicate with, calm, and heal a client's inner child. Hypnotherapy to heal the inner child can create positive changes in the in the adult who seeks greater self-worth and self-acceptance. It can help them overcome self-sabotaging behavior that their inner child learned in order to cope with dysfunctionality. But to achieve these goals requires full cooperation of the client who must really want to heal and make these changes. See what I mean? Must be, must believe that they can heal and make positive changes, and they must be open to using the tools and techniques provided. And that's what I just explained. You can only be hypnotized if you want to be. So yeah, that's all the techniques I got down for that. But yeah, that's what yeah, so pretty much in a nutshell, shadow work is basically, dealing with that darker side of yourself. So I hope you got some out of it. And for those who didn't come in today, come in tonight and are watching the replay, let me know what you think. Down in the conversation, I'm gonna give some shout outs and then I'm gonna head on out. Shout out to La Nutra. Shout out to Purple Love. And shout out to Shadra Curser. So I know it was kind of late and I meant to do it earlier, but I got tired, work got me. But I was determined to do this, so hopefully I get a video out for you, and I hope y'all have a great night, and thank y'all for coming through. Really appreciate it. Wholeness and balanced vibration, people, and I'll see you guys later. Gonna get you with the ending music for this one.